These machines don't get second chances. There's no rehearsals, no do-overs. One slip and it's game over, not just for the gear, but for the people behind the controls. We're talking 50-ton excavators climbing cliffs, loaders balancing marble like it's glass, and dredgers tearing through underwater rock with zero visibility. This is the line between chaos and control, between scrap metal and mastery. And the operators? Well, there's ice in their veins. There's skill in every move. You want heat? Well, you're about to get it. So without losing the nuts, let's move in. First is the Caterpillar 385C, 120-kilometer transport over mountains. Now what you're seeing here is not just a big machine on a road trip. First thing they do is take the bucket off, because keeping it on would be asking for trouble. This isn't a smooth highway ride. It's 120 kilometers of steep climbs and tight corners, and the 385C is already pushing the limits of what the trailer can handle. The roads twist, the cliffs don't forgive. One lean too far and it's game over. Everything comes down to weight, balance, and knowing exactly how to adjust on the fly. The drivers are rock solid, and every shift in the load, every turn, they're locked in. There's no guesswork. They get it done. No drama, no damage. That's what it takes to move a monster like this through tough terrain that doesn't care how expensive your machine is. And if that was tough, just wait till we go underwater with our next machine. Next, we have the Royal IHC Dredger, the underwater demolition. This isn't digging. It's more like feeling your way through a minefield underwater. The Royal IHC Dredger operator Alberto Alemán-Zubeda drops its bucket into black water, going after rubble that's buried deep and jammed into the bottom of a port. There's no cameras or clear view. The operator can't see a thing. They go by feel, by experience, by the way the machine responds. One swing too wide and they could smash a pipe, hit steel, or worse, knock the platform off balance. The water pools, the ground shifts, nothing stays still. But somehow they keep it tight. The dredger cuts through layers of packed debris like it's following a blueprint. No wasted movement, just clean, careful work. It drags up what needs to go and leaves everything else untouched. That's not just control, it's a kind of instinct. Now let's go back above ground with the Caterpillar 992D wheel loader. This is marble, 100 tons of it to be exact, and somehow it's floating. No gimmicks, no cables, just a machine doing exactly what it was built to do. We're in northern Greece, inside the Paragon Quarry, and the Caterpillar 992D is lining up for the lift. The block? Fresh cut, flawless, and worth a serious amount of money. There's no room for error here. If it cracks, it's done. One bad lift and the whole thing's a loss, but the operator is cool and precise. Forks slide in slow. No shake, no shift, and then lift, like the marble barely weighs anything. That's not just power, that's control. That's knowing your machine so well that every move feels like second nature. There's no hesitation or noise, just stone in the air, steady and clean, and just like that, it's in place. On to the next one, the Komatsu WA900 wheel loader. This is what real teamwork looks like. The Komatsu WA900 rolls up, big, bold, and locked in. There's no time wasted because it syncs with the 992D as if it's choreographed. Two giants moving in tandem, inches apart. The mission is to clear a hall roadblocked by another column, fast. Dust kicks up, visibility drops, but these two operators are unshaken. The 992D grabs, the WA900 shifts. Back and forth, one clears and one stabilizes. It's a mechanical waltz, 200 tons at a time. One slip and they collide. But they don't. The road is cleared and there's no delays. No drama, just flawless execution. Heavy lifting's one thing, but let's try vertical movement with the Caterpillar 988B loader hook. Now the Caterpillar 988B shows up. It's not the biggest machine on site, but it's got the kind of muscle that matters when you're under pressure. The boulder's in the way, so there's no time to get fancy. The loader lines up, The arms drop and this move pushes the machine to its limit. Every pivot, every bit of force presses on joints that aren't supposed to take hits like this. Snap one part and you're out 6 figures, maybe more. But the operator doesn't flinch. They ease in, tires dig, the frame creaks, and you can hear the metal straining as the weight starts to shift, but then movement. The boulder gives. The loader pulls back with no warning lights, no leaks, and nothing broken. It's just done. Now here's the twist. This same machine is about to ride a trailer built for giants, because sometimes even the movers need moving, and that's the Komatsu PC8000 on a 44-axle trailer hook. They built a road just to move this thing, and that's not exaggeration. That's the only way to move a Komatsu PC8000, an ultra-class excavator weighing over 1,000 tons. The setup for it is a 44-axle trailer, reinforced to handle the weight. But weight isn't the problem, the route is. Tight terrain, sharp turns, and bridges not built for monsters like this. Crews spent days constructing custom bypasses and ramps. Every meter of the road was engineered for this one move, and now the machine's loaded. Every tire inflated to exact pressure, every axle checked. Then, the convoy rolls. One wrong steer and it's not just a delay, it's a 1,000-ton slide into disaster. But the driver keeps perfect line control, counter-steering like it's second nature. The trailer flexes, shifts, and adjusts. It's not fast, it's not flashy, but it's flawless. The PC8000 makes it through with not a scratch. One more haul coming up, and this route's even tighter. This is the Caterpillar 375 on Goldhofer trailer hooks. This run is 70 kilometers of pure tension. They're hauling a Caterpillar 375 to a coal site. The rig is a Goldhofer trailer. It's tight, low, and just wide enough to keep the machine from topping off. Everything's locked down and every angle is double checked. But the road? That's where the real challenge lies. Low bridges barely give them room. Some passes have just enough clearance to squeeze through, and every switchback means crawling, adjusting, and turning the wheel half a degree at a time. One dip in the pavement and the whole trailer leans. But the team doesn't panic. They've got escorts flagging traffic and spotters watching every tire. Oh, and a suspension system that reacts in real time. The Goldhofer moves like it's thinking. Every bump and twist it handles without blinking. 6 hours later and the 375 rolls into the mine with no damage or delays, ready to dig. Now speaking of damage, this is the 637E Caterpillar scraper hook. This isn't a "that was close" moment. This is a blink away from disaster. The 637E Cat scraper hits the slope too fast. Comes in at the wrong angle and gravel shifts, rear wheels lose grip, and suddenly the front end's lifting like it's about to flip. You can see the crash before it happens. But the operator doesn't panic. In one clean motion they drop the bowl, shift the weight back, and feather the throttle just right. The front slams back down, balanced and controlled, like it was rehearsed. But it wasn't. Now that's not luck, that's reflex. That's what happens when you've spent years in the cab, learning how to read the ground and respond without thinking. 1 second slower and you're looking at a total wreck. That's how real skill saves metal from the scrap heap. Now let's get off the ground and onto the cliffs with the Kaiser S2 Spider Excavator. This thing doesn't roll in, it crawls. The Kaiser S2 Spider Excavator isn't like anything else. 4 independently moving legs, each one digging into uneven rock like it's alive. Perched on the edge of a vertical drop, it looks like some kind of mechanical insect, and it's here to stop the mountain from falling. The job is to drill steel anchors deep into unstable terrain, locking down the slope before it lets go. Every arm and joint adjusts constantly to fight shifting pressure. One misstep and the whole machine goes tumbling into the valley below. There's no flat ground, no do-over, and definitely no soft landing. The hydraulics respond with absolute precision. Every movement is deliberate, every claw placement calculated. The drill hits its mark, clean, centered, and perfectly aligned. Rod after rod goes in, and finally the slope holds. And the spider? It's still gripping the rock like it was built for cliffs. That's how you stop a landslide, but now let's bring in a different kind of destruction, the kind that starts in the trees. This is a 22.5-ton excavator for poisoned tree felling. These trees are dead from the inside. They're poisoned, hollow, and ready to fall any second, and completely unpredictable. That makes them a nightmare to cut. Chainsaws are off the table because it's too risky. You can't predict the break, and if a trunk snaps mid-fall, someone's going to get hurt or maybe worse. That's where the 22.5-ton excavator comes in. There's no rush or second guessing. The operator lines up each shot like a sniper. The bucket presses against the weak spot of the trunk, not smashing it, but leaning it, applying the exact force needed to guide it down clean. One after another, the trees fall exactly where they're supposed to. It's more than brute force, it's awareness. You've got to account for wind, tension in the bark, and the angle of the lean. You can't afford to wing it, and thanks to that level of control, nobody gets hurt. There's no near misses, no chaos, just clean, methodical takedowns of trees too dangerous to approach on foot. But sometimes it's not the trees or the cliffs you need to watch out for, it's the ground itself, and this is an excavator on a slope hook. This slope doesn't let anything slide because there's not mistakes or hesitation. One bad call and that's it. There's no grip or safety net, just a heavy machine rolling off the edge with no way back. And still, the job has to get done. The operator nudges the excavator toward the cliff line, carving out a path where there's nothing but loose soil and uneven ground. Every inch matters, the treads shift, the bucket bites in, and you can see the tension, not just in the machine, but in the silence between each move. One miscalculated angle and the whole slope could give out. But this isn't guesswork. The operator knows the ground, knows when to ease pressure and when to commit. You watch the excavator balance on the edge, steady as it moves forward like it's wired to the earth. There's no panic or overcorrections, and just like that, it's over. The slope's reshaped, the path is clean, even. It looks like it's always been there. That wasn't just dirt work, that was a high-stakes balancing act done by someone who doesn't flinch under pressure. That was instinct, timing, and full control. Now, stay with it because the next move is all in the air. This is an excavator descending from a hook. There's no margin here, no ramp or fallback. Just a 20-ton excavator mid-air hanging from a crane. There's no wheels on the ground, no hydraulics to soften the blow, just tension in the cables and a whole lot of trust. The rigging creaks and the breeze moves the machine a few inches side to side. You've got a crane operator up top and someone inside the cab trusting that every bolt is solid. There's no rehearsal for something like this. This is the kind of move you get right the first time or not at all. As the excavator lowers, it feels like time slows. The boom doesn't shift and the tracks stay square. It comes down feet from the surface with no bounce or sudden jolt, just contact clean and exact. The drop settles, the hook releases, and there's not even a sway. That wasn't luck, that was total awareness and control. The kind of thing you don't just watch, you have to feel it. Most people hold their breath the whole way down, and when it hits the ground like that, you let out a breath you didn't realize you were holding. That's not just machinery, that's trust between people and steel. And now that you've seen this, from vertical climbs to underwater demolition, every move was calculated and every risk was real. This isn't just heavy equipment, it's heavy strategy, skill, and nerves. If you're still breathing after that, hit subscribe and drop a heat in the comments and tell us which machine got you amazed. We're just getting started, and speaking of machines, wait until you see the smallest Chinese excavators in action. Don't let its size fool you, because it might be tiny, but it comes with some serious muscle.